It's been a long day. One meeting after another, and despite the idiocy of most of your clients, you've maintained a poker face worthy of an Oscar. You walk in the door and realize to your relief that you've done all you can do for now. You've earned the right to be pleased with yourself. The reason? You've had the foresight to prepare. That morning, you packed the fridge full of budget brand artisanal beer from the corner shop. A mini bottle of champagne, another of hard liquor, and some sweet and salty snacks also made their way into your shopping basket. You strip off your outer layers of clothing. The basic rule, any article that's appropriate and attractive is also constricting and uncomfortable. You reach the most pleasurable moment of your striptease, the slow peeling of sweaty socks from your feet, a sensation deserving of its own expression. You fling them victoriously across the room, and you're free from the shackles of civilization. You mosey to the fridge and whip out a cold one. The bottle starts to sweat the instant it hits the room temperature. As always, bottle opener, bottle cap, and muscle power work in seamless synergy. You grab the remote and gallop through the respectable channels. When you start hitting the reality shows, or what can conceivably be interpreted as such, you pump the brakes and take your first swig of beer. Then another. You grab a second cold one to replace the one you just downed and pour yourself a finger and a half of whiskey while you're at it. You crack a bag of crisps as tenderly as an ancient treasure chest. Gradually, the tension melts from your shoulders and the warmth slides down to your fingertips. It's time to get pantsdrunk. Kalsarrikannit. It's a Finnish compound word that means kalsari, which is underwear, and kani, which is a state of inebriation. So when you put the two together, you wind up with kalsarrikannit, which basically means underwear drinking or pantsdrunk. It's more than just the sum of its two parts. It's as much of a vibe as it is an event. It's a state of mind. It's a state of being. Misconceptions, the author of the definitive book on Kalsarrikannit, calls pants drinking the Finnish art of drinking at home, alone, in your underwear, as a way to achieve authentic, total, and true relaxation. Now, to the uninitiated, Kalsarrikannit, it might just seem like an excuse to be lazy and get drunk. But honestly, it's an act of self-care. It's a way to shave off all the stress, all the trauma, all the annoyances of everyday life, and just relax in a judgment-free, incredibly comfortable, safe place, And doing so with a little alcohol to help break free of those chains and let loose a little bit. I think the best way to think of Kalsarrikannit is to treat it like an event. It is a noun after all. Frequent drinkers know that there's many different types of drinking. You have your social soirees where you're not really trying to get drunk, but you are trying to get the social lubricant going a little bit, maybe a mild little buzz to open up yourself a little bit. You do have those like going out with the boys or the girls or whatever, and you're like, we're gonna get a little drunker than usual, and it's just gonna be to cut loose, have fun, and be free. And then you have your therapeutic blackout drunk session. There's many different forms of drinking, and Kalsarrikannit is just that. It's just another form of drinking. The end goal there is to become relaxed. Sometimes you just want to drink in the safe environment of your house, free from the social constraints of society. You just want to be free, your true authentic self. You just want to be relaxed, catch a buzz, or maybe a bit further than that. Sometimes you just want to drink at your house in your underwear. That's Kalsarrikannit. So Kalsarrikannit, it originated in Finland. It is a part of Finnish life and society, according to all the sources I came across. Pants drinking is so integral to the Finnish cultural identity that there have been books written on this subject. There's been thousands of articles. Even the Finnish government accepts and recognizes Kalsarrikannit as a part of Finnish life. They release their own Kalsarrikannit emojis. It's so integral that, and so common in normal parlance, I guess, that you need an emoji to quickly describe, what the night is going to be all about. Pants drinking. As far as I can tell, Kalsarrikannit is just as integral to the Finns as high tea or afternoon tea is for the Brits and fika is for the Swedes. It's just a part of who they are. Now, when I did some research into the history of Kalsarrikannit, I found that it's actually a surprisingly relatively new concept, even for the Finnish people. As you can imagine, since the beginning of drinking history, which is in tandem with the history of human society, I'm sure there has always been a concept, an idea, a feeling, a need to experience Kalsarrikannit way before even the Finnish language was invented. However, the word wasn't actually codified until the 2000s, when it was accepted into the dictionaries released by the Institute for the Languages of Finland. According to Miska, there was some evidence on the word's use in online forums in the 90s, however, its utilization was inconsistent and nondescript. It seems the term wasn't even popularized in Finland until 2005, when screenwriter Mira Karula stated in an interview that she got pants drunk with her husband, marking Kalsarrikannit's first official publication. And from there, it essentially became a part of the Finnish lexicon. Now, to understand why the Finns want to drink in their underwear so much, we need to take a look at Finland, Finnish society, and some stereotypes about the Finnish people. Firstly, let's take a look at where Finland is located. It's one of the furthest north countries on the entire planet. I mean, that's where they do like the Santa North Pole ventures and stuff like that. I mean, it's very, very far north. So that obviously means that the winters are going to be incredibly cold. A lot of snow, a lot of darkness, and it's not going to be a fun time to leave your house and go downtown and, catch a bus, catch a train, whatever. Sometimes that's just too much hassle. So instead, stay in the house, crack open your beers, enjoy yourself there. It's safer, warmer, and in Finland, definitely cheaper. Secondly, we need to take a look at Finnish society and culture, but more particularly the stereotypes about the Finnish people. There's this reoccurring joke I heard the entire time I was in Europe that the Finns are the least outgoing, antisocial, and most alcoholic people of all of Northern Europe, which, when you look at Scandinavia, that's saying a lot. They're called the alcoholics of Northern Europe because they do drink way, way more than some of their other neighboring countries like Sweden and Norway. But I honestly think that has much less to do with the fact that the Finns just want to drink more. And I think it has a lot more to do with how much looser their country is with sales of alcohol and the affordability of alcohol in comparison to Sweden and Norway, which was much, much more strictly controlled. I mean, that's the reason why all the Swedes and Norwegians cross the border into Finland to buy all their beer and bring it back. So regardless, the stereotype persists. As far as the socialization aspect goes, I really don't understand it. The entire time I was in Finland, every single person I met was just insanely friendly. I mean, people went way out of their way to make me feel welcomed in their country, striking up conversations, showing me things that, people in America would never do. They very rarely would somebody invite you into their house and just show you around, So I would say that, anecdotally speaking, that was not the case that I experienced. But compared to a lot of Europe, I guessed Finns are a bit more antisocial. Regardless of my thoughts on the matter, when you take alcoholism and antisocialism, combine them together to create Kalsarrikannit, you create the perfect activity for Finnish people, as far as the stereotypes go. Although we credit Finland and the Finnish people with Kalsarrikannit, I believe the concept is a global one. All types of alcohol drinking people and cultures around the planet. I think there's something innately to the human experience where we just kind of want to stay at home in comfy clothes, bundled up on the couch, watching TV and just catching a little bit of a buzz, instead of going out. There's a need for that isolation, possibly a therapeutic event that can really only be defined by Kalsarrikannit. I also believe that that's the reason why Kalsarrikannit as a concept went viral in 2020 during the pandemic years. In 2020, there were so many articles written on how to pants drink. What is pants drinking? What is Kalsarrikannit? The Finns have this word for this. People had nothing else to do. We couldn't leave the house. We were looking for a way to deal with the madness of the outside world. We were looking for a way to deal with our own mental and emotional struggles, and alcohol was there to help us, Kalsarrikannit. So yes, the pandemic was a perfect opportunity to spread awareness of Kalsarrikannit, preach the good word of being pants drunk. But I think it also did equally well at spreading a lot of misconceptions about the actual practice of engaging in pants drinking. You will see a lot of articles that's like, pants drunk, you have to be alone, you have to be in your house in your underwear, you have to do this and that. It seemed that a lot of foreign journalists took extremely hardline, literal approaches to defining and describing how to execute Kalsarrikannit. So I think the best thing to do here is kind of dispel some of these misconceptions. So the first thing I want to tackle is the fact that it does not have to be in your underwear. Yes, the word is pants drunk. Yes, we already talked about how that essentially translates to underwear and alcohol. But it's more of a semantic issue. It's really anything that makes you feel comfortable. The only mandatory attire requirement is that you are able to achieve relaxation. For me, my personal favorite pants drinking wardrobe greatly depends on the season. During winter, I love oversized hoodies, my thermal cycling pants, and socks. But during the summer, I like to have tank tops and harem pants. Secondly, many sources claim that you have to be alone. And that's just not true. I mean, when we go back and we talk about that actress who popularized the term Kalsarrikannit, pants drunk, she tells the story of how she achieved that with her husband. They collectively achieved pants drinking sessions because it doesn't have to be alone. Now, for me personally, I do enjoy solo pants drinking sessions because that's just the best way for me to relax. I have a harder time recharging my social batteries if someone else is in the room. It's just what it is. But not everybody is that way. And if there's somebody else who makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel safe, makes you feel relaxed, they're more than welcome to join the party. It's just that if somebody is harshing your vibe or they bring negative energy around you, they're not welcome. You can't achieve pants drinking nirvana when you're sitting in a room, forced to socialize with somebody that brings you down. Those are the two big ones I really wanted to hit, but it seems like there's a lot of other misconceptions. Like, you don't have to be in your own home. It can be at someone else's home as long as it's a safe, enjoyable environment that you can be your true, authentic self. You don't have to get totally blackout drunk. Sometimes a mellow buzz. And even in the book, they describe non-alcoholic pants drinking sessions, with a nice cup of coffee or, whatever. You can engage in it without being drunk. It's just, that's the majority of people's preferred method. It doesn't have to be for the entire night. It could be just for a couple of hours, just enough to get that relaxation, shave the edges off, get a little vibe going, and then you could go out, that way you've already burned off all the stress. That way you're not out there just like getting hate drunk, out in public. Just, there's no correct way to enjoy Kalsarrikannit. It's whatever works for you, whatever you need at that moment. It could be 1 or 2 beers while watching Netflix. It could be, downing an entire bottle of Jameson just on a Saturday morning. It's whatever. It's whatever you need at that moment to achieve a relaxed state. But now we need to talk about something a little bit more serious. Yeah, there is no right way to engage in Kalsarrikannit. Whatever pants drunk is to you, it is. But there is certainly a wrong way to engage in Päntsdrunk. We live in a pretty crazy world, no doubt about it, and every day we are assaulted by high speed, high demand, just so much external stress that it can become unbearable sometimes. It can get very heavy and it can get uncomfortable and unenjoyable. And that makes the allure of Päntsdrunk even better. It makes it very appealing. The more stress that one experiences, the more desire to relieve that stress we experience. And as we've mentioned, Kalsarrikannit is a great way to burn off some stress. But every day is probably not healthy. In the frequently asked questions section of the Päntsdrunk book, Mishka tackles these topics with amazing finesse. A daily craving for calorie and booze-fueled bacchanalia is more likely an indicator of long-term stress, depression, or a combination of both than a healthy desire to wipe the slate clean or reward yourself. If you feel Päntsdrunk calling to you in the middle of the day, things clearly aren't going by the playbook. We all experience the occasional crisis, of course, and you have your unique nature and personalities. But if Päntsdrunk becomes routine and ceases to prompt gratifying sensations of elation, it's time to schedule a development discussion with yourself. Don't be too hard, but don't be too easy either. Honestly, the past year has been incredibly brutal for me. Probably the most demanding my work has ever been in 13 plus years. And that took a huge strain on my mental and emotional health, as well as the health of personal relationships with friends and family. So when I finally made it here to Arizona, I've been here for about 3 months now. And honestly, I haven't done a whole lot. I've been staying in my house. I've been drinking and eating comfort foods and everything like that, just to, kind of recover from that previous year. Kalsarrikannit is fun. It's good. It helps you. But you have to do it in moderation. Too much relaxation and you start ending up in self-harm territory. So, I am going to enjoy this. But this is going to be my last day of Kalsarrikannit, and as we go into this new year, things are going to be different for me. I am not going to fall into old habits, and I'm going to achieve the things I want to. Yeah, it might not be as fun, as desirable, or as relaxing as, sitting on a couch in a nice, cozy blanket, drinking a beer, but that'll make those moments when I do need a Kalsarrikannit session. That'll make those moments even more special, even better. We have to remember that Päntsdrinking is an event. It's a noun, a small part of a greater culture. It's not a lifestyle. When you rely on it too much, it loses its purpose.